Are there tax advantages to keeping your rental properties or putting your rental properties in an LLC? The answer, no. Here's how the taxation process works between an entity, which would be an LLC, and this pertains to any company, not just rental properties, but if you have your rental properties in an LLC, we're talking about an entity, versus keeping it in your personal name and therefore reporting them on your personal taxes. Your personal taxes, this could be your W-2, this is whatever your normal income is. The way that tax write-offs work is, let's say you make $100,000 in income in 1 year from whatever sources. You report on your tax form $100,000 income. Then, if you did things that are worthy of being written off, such as charity work, charity efforts, donations, any of that kind of stuff, you subtract those deductions from the $100,000. So the tax return says $100,000 income less $10,000 in expenses that you can, for whatever reason, write off. That brings your taxable income down to $90,000. And that's how your taxes are determined. Very simple. Now, what happens if you move over to an LLC or an entity, and this is all very high level, broad, make sure you're always working with an accountant, and disclaimer, I'm not an accountant. So again, this is surface level, just things to get your mind thinking about these things. So if you have an LLC, the process is a little bit different. Let's say that you earned $100,000 in your LLC, but you had $10,000 worth of expenses. Instead of reporting $100,000 on your tax return, you report $90,000. So are you seeing the difference here? Personal taxes, you report your full income and then you report the write-offs and the new tax basis is there. On an entity, before you ever write anything in the income spot, you deduct your expenses. So it's not a difference in what's taxed, it's a difference in the order in which it's more or less written out or the way that it's looked at. At the end of the day, there's no difference. So if we're talking rental properties, the exact same expenses are able to be written off whether the properties are in your personal name or whether they're in an LLC. Obviously, like an LLC or something may have additional fees that you can write off, which you would not write off on your personal. But at the end of the day, all of the expenses that you can be written off for a rental property are the same. So therefore, it doesn't change how much income you're taxed on. Therefore, there are not any tax benefits that I've ever found in putting my properties in an LLC. There may be some other advantages, but on the tax front, not so much. Again, rules change all the time, especially with the IRS. I highly encourage you to be working with a real estate investor friendly accountant, someone who works with this kind of thing all the time, and ask for their guidance. If you're thinking about doing an LLC, confirm with your accountant the pros and cons to doing that on the tax front. So if this was helpful, shoot me a like. And also, there's a lot of information about the tax benefits of rental properties. Spoiler alert, they're huge. So a couple extra videos that I think you should check out or might be interesting to check out. Check out my video linked below to all of the write-offs that are available to you on your rental property. Again, the list is really long. You can also check out a video where I dive into the 5 profit centers of a rental property, and tax benefits happen to be one of those income streams. So check both those out, shoot a like if this was helpful, and see you on the flip side.